Okay. Thank you. Okay, I think it's recording now. My name's Lynn Bongiovanni. I'm the facilitator for this one. We're going to be talking about the TLC documentary with Jeannie. So I just wanted to ask, just to start off, what was everybody's first gut reaction to watching this video?
Sadness.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking.
I was sad, yeah.
Yeah, I was very, very sad.
I just remember watching it and just like thinking like how horrible, like even I guess these parents were, like how they didn't allow like any access to this child, and even why they didn't want to communicate, because they didn't really go into the reasoning of like the father in it. Like they didn't have any reason, like at least shared with us in the video.
And I didn't understand how she was allowed to then go back with her mom if her mom was also neglecting her in the first place. Why they didn't think that would happen again if it happened for 13 years.
Yeah.
That was I was confused about.
Yeah, and towards the end, what really shocked me was that she pretty much cut all ties with everybody that was trying to help her daughter. Like, why?
Yeah.
To me, that just doesn't make sense. If she's progressing, and they said she was significantly, why would you cut off all that resource?
Yeah, and people were really, really passionate about it, about helping her. A lot of people were, and her mom just kind of took that away from her.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really, felt like she was almost hopeless at that point. She wasn't getting the all the support she needed anymore.
I kind of looked up the information afterwards because I wanted to know what happened to her. And I I read some article about it, and she still, to this day, they said that she's alive, but she cannot have contact with any of those psychologists or therapists or anyone. And she must be in a pretty bad system right now, still to this day.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
So our first question is, how does like interaction affect us? Like, why is it so important for us as individuals?
Gives you different experiences.
You're learning from others. You're through social interactions. You're learning about people. You're learning about different cultures. You're learning about she had no socialization. She doesn't even know had no friends, but no socialization at all. She didn't know how to speak. So it definitely has a huge impact just on the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like sad too, like if you don't have like that support and stuff, like emotionally, like just what it does to you emotionally. Like I know, like if I weren't to talk to somebody for even like a day or two, like have no interaction with people, like I think I would just be really upset and sad and depressed.
And then in the video, it talked about like how we need stimulation for our brain to develop, like since she wasn't being interacted with, like part of her brain didn't develop. And so she couldn't gain like the grammar. Like the grammar was the big part they kept talking about. Like she could gain language, but not the grammar aspect of it.
So I didn't know that there were critical periods in order to learn language. And then to see those, the pictures of the brain development for like each, that was really hard to look at.
Yeah.
Because it said there are things she'll never learn just because of that age. Like I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Well, can you imagine how much she's not going to learn now if she's not given the support? I mean, they said she wouldn't learn that grammar stuff, but what is she missing out on now because her mom pretty much cut everybody off?
Yeah. Who knows what she's getting in the school or what.
And her mom wasn't even with her then, like at the end, right? Like she was in like a site, like homes and stuff. Yeah.
And I guess she just wouldn't. Somehow she still was able to not allow them to.
Yeah, like a lawsuit was filed that like nobody was able to contact.
That's sad.
That is really sad.
Yeah.
So the next question was, do you think Jeannie was possibly born with an intellectual disability?
I don't think so, but it's hard to tell with the information given.
I have to agree with Ashley.
The only reason I don't think she was because I think she had an intellectual disability. Like she did acquire skills pretty quickly. Like maybe she didn't acquire grammar. But I think if she had an intellectual disability and had gone, how many years was it that she actually went without any interaction? I don't remember exactly, but it was
13.
Yeah,
13.
that's a long time with nobody ever talking to you. And she was at least acquiring nouns and stuff. Like, I don't know. I just feel like if you've never had anybody talk to you at all and you're now at least acquiring like words, like, and being able to produce them, like, I just don't think if you had an intellectual disability, you'd be able to do that as quickly as she did.
Yeah, she definitely wouldn't have made as much progress.
I think the huge part of it was just not that she had a disability, was that she wasn't being spoken to at all. She was being left alone in a room with no communication.
I was wondering if like she had an intellectual disability and that's why her like family didn't want to interact with her. Like when I saw that question, I was like, well, maybe she had, you know what I mean? Like maybe that's why they decided. Well, I don't know. Like something happened with his family.
He had a brother.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. What about the brother? Why did he have an interaction?
Yeah, I didn't get that. I didn't get what it was about her that they didn't.
Mm-hmm. And maybe so much it wasn't an intellectual disability. Maybe they physically thought something was wrong with her. So they kind of like shunned her from the world because she wasn't this perfect child.
Yeah.
Didn't it say that the dad, like someone passed away?
Something like that.
That's when everything kind of turned to. I don't know.
Yeah.
That was mentioned too, but it was like he was telling everyone what to do. It sounded like they listened to him.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they found her though. They didn't. I don't know, that guy in the beginning.
Yeah, I was curious about that.
I read mom ended up escaping from the home and then going to like a welfare office, and then she went into the wrong building or wrong room or whatever, and that's how they figured it out. They were like, something's going on, something's not right, and then they started asking more and more questions, and that's how they figured it out.
Interesting.
Oh, so the mom was being abused too, I guess.
Yeah.
But Lynn, what you had said about like thinking that she might have an intellectual disability, and that's why, like, that's what I was kind of thinking when I was first like in the middle of watching it. I kind of had read the questions ahead just to know what I was thinking about for our discussion, and that was one of the things that had crossed my mind, was maybe that was the reason they shunned her. But then once I like saw how quickly she was developing skills, I was like, there's no way she has an intellectual disability.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, and the reason she would have one now is just because she missed those stages. Like, that's not her fault.
Yeah.
She wasn't given the necessary materials to be able to progress through those skills and then advance to what she could have potentially done later on.
Yeah, like a traumatic brain injury kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And then the last question is just asking about ethical issues. So whether about like her conditions, and we've kind of talked about this, but what ethical issues, I guess, were you guys most concerned with in the video?
It bothered me that the parents were allowed to like let her just lose all like things that were making her progress. Like how did they award the parents, like agree with the mom in that situation? Like,
also, how did the mother get custody back?
That's what I
was thinking.
I don't get that.
Yep.
Clearly, she couldn't take care of her before. Why is she all of a sudden allowed to now? I didn't.
Yeah.
Maybe they thought with the father not present, because I think a lot of times, like if a family shows like they're showing progress, like there is, because I've had a couple kids like go through the foster system, which is like hard, like as a teacher with my students kind of thing. But like if those parents start showing like they have made gains, like granted, I understand it was like an extreme situation, but maybe they thought like the father who was like the main one in charge kind of thing. But I mean, still, the mom was still there for 13 years.
Yeah, it's 13 years with total neglect. It's not like, you know, even if you made gains, I feel like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, and I wonder how much the mom really played into whatever was going on, because didn't it say she was blind?
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember.
It said something about visual impairments.
Yeah. So, like, did she, I don't want to say she didn't have a clue, because obviously she knew her daughter was there, but how much did she really know if she couldn't really see what was going on?
That's true.
Yeah.
And I know from family and stuff that have had foster kids that it's true what Lynn was saying. Like, if the parents are showing any sort of progress, they always want the kid to go back to like their relatives, to their family, their biological family. So, I mean, it's a lot of times what I've seen, it's not always what I would consider the best situation, but for some reason, that's what our system seems to think would be the best situation.
Yeah.
And obviously, the other ethical dilemma is just the way she was treated from the beginning. That's obviously a huge ethical issue.
Yeah, with the cage and being strapped to a toilet, and
Yeah.
I think you could have just like let her be in the room by herself, kind of thing. Like instead of such harsh. Like,
Not letting her move at all.
Yeah.
It sounded like she didn't get to walk or anything.
Mm-mm.
Even though she wasn't being spoken to, she also wasn't moving around and things like that. It's
were her physical issues because of that too? Like if your muscles don't have that motor planning and they've never practiced it, and she didn't have probably the muscle tone or anything, that could be affecting all of that.
Yeah. I think the hardest thing for me was hearing that there were these people that were giving her the love, the care, and the need that she deserved. And then because of a lawsuit, she could no longer have contact with the first people that ever gave her that attention and love and everything that she needed as a human, and they took it away.
Right.
That was...
I don't understand how you can just do that. I mean, just the leaps and bounds that she made. And even, I mean, I'm not a mom, but I mean, Lauren and Ashley, you both could probably agree to this. Like, you want what's best for your child. So how can you take away the best thing that's happened to her since she's been born?
I had a really tough situation, and I cannot go into it, but I had a really tough situation this year. Not the same, it was just really bad, and the system really hurt this child. Really, really bad. No matter what, I mean, we did as much as we could, but
I'm in that same spot with a couple students, and you try your best for these kids, and then the system doesn't show up for them at the same point. So so we're at time then, so I'll stop recording, but thanks everybody for joining in.
Thanks.
Thank you.